Mikal Bridges' first season in New York, to be kind, if I'm being nice about it, has been underwhelming.
Welcome to New York Got Game. Boom shakalaka.
Here's where we're going to get into this part of the show. I'm going to definitely talk about this with Kaz. There was one player in particular who I think Knicks fans are frustrated with from what I've seen. I think rightfully should be criticized for his performance or lack of performance in this game. And I hate doing this because this player actually lately had been playing pretty good and had been efficient and shooting the ball and scoring. But we got to talk about Mikal Bridges for this game. I understand with everything I said, and this is why I wanted to put in context. I understand the Knicks are on demand. You want to compete. And I just gave credit to those guys that competed. But 6 shots from Mikal Bridges? 6, guys. 6 field goal attempts for Mikal Bridges in this game against Cleveland. And that's sort of the headline. You've seen this all over social media and Knicks fans talking about that. And they have a right to say you want to see Mikal Bridges a little bit more aggressive, which is a word that keeps coming up with Mikal Bridges. We've seen it from him lately, particularly with Al Brunson. We've seen some of that from him, where I think Knicks fans should be encouraged. Not to the level we've seen the rise from OG Anunoby taking this opportunity for more touches and to attack the rim more, but we haven't seen the same level of that. But we've seen stuff from Mikal Bridges where you're like, all right, if he keeps this energy when Brunson comes back, things could be okay. Now, you should be bothered by the 6 shots, field goal attempts, that he took. But even my thing is when you look at all these games that the Knicks have played against Cleveland, when you look at all this stuff, Bridges has constantly been cooked by Donovan Mitchell. Absolutely cooked. And if you paid attention to this game last night, OG Anunoby had the early assignment on Mitchell and did a pretty damn good job on him. When Bridges started guarding Donovan Mitchell was getting wherever he wanted. He was comfortable. Now, I understand Bridges covers a lot of ground. I will always want to bring nuance here, right? He covers a lot of ground. He's the main point of attack defender, and that's fine. But we understand what the Knicks traded him for. I'm not going into the amount of picks and all that stuff. I'm talking about what he was brought here to do, right? Specifically. Everybody understood that he was supposed to be a third scorer and play elite defense. We haven't always seen that elite defense this season. Mikal Bridges' first season in New York, to be kind, if I'm being nice about it, has been underwhelming. And so a lot of the headlines are going to be those 6 shot attempts that he took, which there's no defending that. It's got to be better than that. But the defense, too, has got to be better. Where's the pride? And I'm not saying Mikal Bridges doesn't have pride. That's not the point I'm making. I think he does. He's a hard worker. He did not get to this level without having any of that. But you want to see a little fight back on the defensive end. You want to see him give a damn in the fact that Donovan Mitchell has been cooking him. And we've seen it 3 games. And look, the Knicks play the Cavs again next Friday. I don't know who's going to be suiting up for the Cavs, or the Knicks could have the 3rd seed locked up by then, so who knows who's playing in that game. But particularly against Boston and Cleveland, you need better from Mikal Bridges. We saw other guys come out and compete and were better, and I thought tried to set a tone, and you got to respect that, even if you didn't think the Knicks were going to win this game, and I did not. But you got to have better out of Mikal Bridges. It's just simply that. Because if it's about building habits, and the season is long, guys, and you want to build habits as you move towards the playoffs, and you've heard Knicks players talk about this, Josh Hart's talked about it, OG Anunoby's talked about it, this is the time now. It's about building the good habits, right? It's about having that foundation for what it is you want to do that you've been building throughout the season. And when you see the aggressiveness that you saw from a Josh Hart, from an OG Anunoby, even from Cat, despite the 7 turnovers, you can't say that he didn't want it. You can't say any of those guys didn't want it, didn't try. Yeah, they were gassed, second night of back-to-back, all that stuff. We understand that. And here's a great stat that my producer, Jeff Stansberry, just hit me with. Of the Knicks' 8 rotation players last night, of the 8 rotation players that got minutes in this game, only Tyler Kolek had fewer field goal attempts with 4 than Mikal Bridges. You can't have that. Now, look, Josh Hart hit some threes last night. I want to pull up Josh Hart's numbers right here for me. Josh Hart has 17 field goal attempts, guys. Josh Hart, who we know is limitations to his game in terms of shooting, he's going to be 19 field goal attempts. Josh Hart took 19 shots, and Mikal Bridges took 6. That can't happen. And I'm giving Mikal Bridges the credit for how he's played recently, how efficient he's been, and good he's been. But this is what the fans want to see, and I think rightfully so, in the big games. Against Boston, against Cleveland, what are you made of? What are you going to do? This is not me. You know where I've been on this all season, guys. I've said it's a long season. I've said it's a process. I said that it was going to be some change with the Knicks changing 3/5 of their starting lineup. I've said this all season. I'm not backing away from it. So we understood there was going to be some adjustment, but we got to call a spade a spade. We got to call a thing a thing. Mikal Bridges last night's got to be better. He's got to be more aggressive offensively, and he's got to be better defensively. And the defense is the part that concerns me more. A lot will be made about the 6 field goal attempts, and I have no excuses for that. You can't have 6 field goal attempts because all you're doing is playing into the defense the Cavs want to play. They want Josh Hart taking. They'll live with Josh Hart taking 19 shots, and that's no shade to Josh Hart. We just know his limitations from the outside. They'll live with that. When you're only taking 6 and you're Mikal Bridges, you're playing right into what they want to happen.